Good evening, excuse me, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. We got some stuff we got in from BIQU, so that's exciting. We got a new printer that came across our radar since last week's episode, so I want to add that into the beginning of this live stream. And then what most of you are probably going to click on the live stream for tonight is last week we had a question from one of our viewers about what printer they should get because of the 3D printing laws that are coming out that are being proposed through some of the legislation right now. So we'll tackle not so much the printer question per se, but what the legislation is going through right now in the House over in Washington State, and where this all is coming from. So stay tuned on that. We're going to get into our pretzels and our ice waters as normal. So I hope everyone's excited. We're going to give a few more minutes here for people to trickle into the live stream, and we'll get some good content out tonight. Last week's live stream was very popular with the new 3D printers that are coming out. If you haven't checked that out, you can check that out. And for those of you that are maybe viewing the replay of this live stream, I'll put that in the description and in the tags of the video, so you can check that out about the new 3D printers. There's the Atom form that's coming out. That's the big one that we saw. We did back that one, and I did, or not back it, but I did put my deposit down for that $50. We did go back and check out the Anycubic Cobra X that came out. That is kind of a carbon copy, in our opinion, of our the A1 from Bamboo. Some tweaks in there, makes it a little bit better. We covered that one that just came out, or I think it might be coming out. Like, it's in that window. And then also the co-print printer that's on the A1 frame, but it's got the 4 different tool heads that's coming out. We did go back and put our $20 deposit down for that. Those are refundable. I'm not saying you should. Do your research. Check out that live stream if you want to know a little bit more about that. We went in depth on what those printers do with the knowledge that we have. So that's pretty exciting. And then we did reach out to Wondermaker, and I got some news for that for you all. So hope everyone's doing well, and we'll be getting ready to go here real quick. We're clearing out some room here in the studio. You can see down here, we're getting ready for art fair season coming up here in the next few months. I think that starts in May, so that's just a few months away. So we're getting some of those things geared going here. Our printers are humming all the time, so we're having some fun things there. We got some cinder ring things printing off all the time. Those little hatchy pals that we got out there. So we got our notes here for tonight. I did take some notes to make sure I stay on topic, and we'll have a frequently asked questions section. We'll also have where the audience can ask us questions, and feel free to drop them if you're in the chat at any point in time on these printers or anything that comes to mind, and especially the 3D printer ban, because if you have a question, it's probably going to be a question somebody else asked, or even maybe a question that I have or haven't had yet and hasn't come to my mind yet. So we're super excited about, not necessarily the laws, but super excited to broach this topic with the community, because it is a big issue right now, and we want to not necessarily cause panic or cause any concern, but it is important to talk about, because it is and could possibly very much change the landscape of 3D printing. So that's what we'll be getting into tonight, and we'll be back in just a minute or two here as I get some things tweaked in the studio, and we'll be right back with you. All right, so we're ready to get things rolling here on Print Pretzels live stream on Wednesday nights. So if you're joining us now or you're going to join us on the replays, we'll drop those timestamps in there for you so that you can go to the sections that are prevalent to you tonight, whether it's a new printer or it's the legislation that we're going to talk about or it's the exciting upgrades that we got from BIQU. So you can jump ahead to those timestamps if you're watching the replay. So some things that we got this week. We have our normal ice water. I did break in one a little early. Fruit punch flavors tonight. And then we have our strawberry shortcake pretzels left over from last week. We're going to try to finish those off this week. And then the exciting thing that we have from BIQU, we reached out to them a little while back, and then they reached back out to us. And they sent us some things from their shop, and they're for our P1S, and we're going to cover these in the next few weeks. They're different things. The one that I'm really excited about, first off, is the BIQU new colored cryo grip plate. It's super awesome. The purple one they sent out to us. So we're going to get one of these tested on our P1S here. Make sure that we still got that great functionality for the cryo grip plates and what they can do. As you can see, and behind me, we have every single machine behind me except for the one on the end. I'm using a different plate, or the two on the ends, the A1 Mini and the A1. I have them for that as well. They're just using a different plate for a different reason right now. I needed a little bit more of a hotter adhesion because I'm trying to get like a glaze effect on the bottom of the material that's going on there. But these are awesome for bed adhesion. They just work, and you can print at a lower temperature and it saves energy as well. So we're excited to try that out, get that going. And then we have a couple of, we got a nice sticker here that's supposed to go in that bag. We got a couple of different things here that we're excited about when it comes to print monitoring. So it's nice to be able to, well, I shouldn't say it's nice to be able to because I don't know yet, but it would be nice to be able to walk around here in the studio and be able to look over at the printer and just glance at it and say, okay, I have an issue with this printer. It's not, I mean, obviously if I can see the printer is not moving, but sometimes I'll look over and it's just going through a color change. So these upgrades that we got from BIQU that we're going to drop in the long form content in the next few weeks. We did get the Panda alarm. That was the one I'm really excited about. That is an audible alarm, so I'm really excited to see that. But it's also got an LED and it's programmable. And then we have the BIQU Panda status that goes underneath the build plate. That kind of gives it the H2 series vibe upgrade. So that's cool to see. And then finally, we got a little bit of a maintenance helper here that we'll unbox at some point. It's the Panda diaper, and that is going to make cleaning up the bottom of those enclosures so much easier. You can just swipe it out instead of having to deal with that lip that's in the front. So maybe you got to do less sticking of the vacuum in there and just a brush or something. Save a little bit of noise pollution. But those are the things that we got in from BIQU, and I'll cover those again later here in the live stream. I'm gonna jump over here to my computer real quick because I need to bring up the chat to make sure I'm seeing you guys. But all right, so we got that pulled up. So we got those in from BIQU this week. So we're super excited to get these in work, and I don't know which of the three machines behind me I'm going to put them on yet, but I am going to get that on there, and I'll probably drop these and upgrade a week for the next couple of weeks. So we'll get those going. We got to get that content filmed and those upgrades installed. So I'm excited about that. So the next update that I have for you all here in the studio is last week, one of our viewers brought to my attention a new printer as part of the new printer series. The Wondermaker printer just got through its Kickstarter. I missed out on that one. I didn't see it. You know, better late than never though. So, excuse me, the Wondermaker printer, and I'll screen share here with you in just a second, but I want to talk about what that printer is all about. The Wondermaker printer ZR, uh, the Wondermaker ZR is their bigger multicolor 4-color printer, but they just went through their Kickstarter to do the ZR Ultra, which is taking that same frame printer, excuse me, and putting the 4 tool heads on it, kind of like the Snapmaker just went through. And that was pretty exciting to see. So I reached out to them, and they're going to send us the regular ZR. They don't have any Ultras for review purposes that the representative told me yet. So we're going to get the ZR in the studio, get that tested out, see what that's all about. So we're excited about that. That'll be go over on our Alpha Centauri side, and I'll show you guys. I'm already cleaning up that area so we can get that going. That's going to go right over there in the center because it is a little bit bigger of a printer. The build plate is 300 by 300 by 300. So we'll get that set in right over there. So, and if you're wondering, we got 3 Centauris over there. We got our Frozen Air Purifier Max. We'll get that video here sent out probably in the next week or so. We did get the Frozen enclosure. That thing's huge. I'm still looking for a place here in the studio for it to live. Currently I have it sitting on a desk over here, and it's devouring the desk or overwhelming the desk. But I'm excited to turn that into the glow in the dark print enclosure that we're going to work on. So that's exciting. That video just dropped. It is huge. Got some cool cat cameos in there. So if you haven't watched that, you can drop that or watch that. And so back to the Wondermaker Kickstarter. Let me screen share here with you all as I bring up their Kickstarter page. There's my desktop. Hope you guys enjoy that. So this is the Kickstarter page that they just, not the drop down, but the Kickstarter page that they just went through. This is the Wondermaker ZR Ultra, 4 tool heads, 3 printers with open source. The standard ZR is 300 by 300 by 300. So the ZR Ultra is going to lose a little bit of the build space just because you have, let me scroll down a little bit here. So you can see they do have the 4 tool heads that are going to be in the back there. So you do lose a little bit of that bed space, but you still get the height dimension, I believe. So that's cool to see. 24 times faster color changes. It says late pledge is available, and it is closed out. But it's exciting to see what this printer is all about. And I believe I dropped this in the description. If not, give me a shout out in the chat and I will drop that in there. It will be in the description of the replay. I'll make sure that happens during editing tomorrow. But they got some major upgrades here that they're talking about. Now, what this is going to look like. So if you haven't recently saw, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 came out, and you'll notice that it's similar to that as far as the spool holders being on the side, and the 4 things going into the machine. But this is much bigger. It is an open frame, but there is a upgrade that you can get with it called the S. So you can get the Wondermaker ZR Ultra S, which comes with the enclosure. Well, it's a kit that you can get in addition with it. So price is $699.99. Yeah, they're showing the, I think this is the Prusa Core 1. The big 4 tool changer from Prusa is that price that they're demonstrating there, which is a very big printer. So it's got a 5-inch touchscreen, so that'll be nice to see. And then you'll get a preview of this machine kind of when that ZR, the standard ZR gets here for us. See how right here, this is what we're getting in the studio. I already got the shipping confirmation from them, so I shout out to Wondermaker on that. Thank you for supporting us on that. It's the same frame, what it looks like. And then the ZR Ultra S, which is the enclosed version. It's got that kind of clunky looking top hat, but I mean, I don't think there's any way around that because of the way that it enters in the side. But it's really exciting to see this printer out there in the wilds. Active chamber heating because of that enclosure is coming together there. Now, I think what I saw for that enclosure, and you'll get a good shot of the enclosure because we're getting it with our ZR. It'll be very similar. They just bolt onto the frame, which will be nice. I don't know what material it is made out of. I think. Let's see, voices. Enclosure kit. Trying to see what it's made out of. They got an air filtration system in there, so that'll be nice. I'm hoping the back panel is metal, so I can use the magnetic vent port for the frozen air purifier max. Wider filament compatibility, stronger layer adhesion. And if you got the enclosure kit with the Kickstarter, it was $99. I don't know what the price is going to be after this. And currently, if we go over to Wondermaker's website, I think it's right here. They do have that as upcoming, so they don't have any as for purchase yet. And then of course there's a ZR Ultra. Man, these go really fast. So let's go actually over to their. I think it's this. So we'll start with the regular ZR. So this is the Wondermaker ZR. So this is the one we're getting in the studio. We're gonna get a very good look at this one. So this is the standard single nozzle or tool head. Let's get over to that other one. So this is what we're looking at. 4 tool heads. I'm wondering if they'll offer an upgrade path if you get the standard ZR. I'll have to email the representative and ask them on that one. 4 tool heads independently, so very much like the Snapmaker. Speed and color, lead in time. It's really exciting to see these different features here. 300 degrees Celsius hot end and 100 degrees Celsius heated bed. 300 by 270 by 290 printing size. Get perfect first layers with intelligent auto leveling, limiting manual adjustments. That's good to see. I think that's like an industry standard right now. Auto resume. This is going to be a nice feature to have. Not many of my printers here in the studio have a touchscreen currently. The Centauri Carbons do, and the A1 and A1 Mini do. They're advertising you can watch and relax, monitor your prints in real time from anywhere with the optional camera. We will have the camera kit coming with ours. So light up your space. So hopefully with this light that they're advertising, it's going to be a really good light because a lot of the new printers that come out, they don't have the greatest light in the world. And then we got a good shot here of the 4 tool heads docked in their docking area. So this is an exciting printer to see coming out. Looks like they're going to have those probably mount on the side somewhere. And let me get back to my screen so I can see you all over here in the Bamboo Sanctum. So with that Wondermaker ZR Ultra coming in, I fully expect if you've been in the 3D printing space for a little while, you've seen BIQU come out with the Centauri and then the Centauri Carbon 2. These two printers companies seem to be very similar in their framing style. I would fully expect after this Centauri Carbon 2 drops and it's been out a little while, I would fully expect Elegoo to come out with a tool changer. They seem to do what other companies do and do it more affordable. And that's kind of their niche, which is kind of cool to see because it definitely more affordability pushes the industry forward for consumers and hobbyists like us. So that's exciting to see. I'm not affiliated with Elegoo or any background or insider knowledge. That's just something that I would expect to see. Something else that I've been touching on in the live streams. If you follow Bamboo at all, I expect them to have some sort of announcement in between end of this month and the end of April. I think they're going to drop another printer. So stay tuned for that. I'm probably going to put out a video on it. What is going to be the X2C or P2C. I think they're going to take that Vortex system, shrink it down, and put it into the P1 series / X1 series frame. So that's what we got going on for that. I'm cracking open our Pop Daddy pretzels here. And if you guys have any questions on any of that stuff, let me know. Or if you have any questions on last week's printers, the Atom Form Palette 300, or the Co-Print, or the Anycubic Cobra X. If you like strawberry shortcake and you like pretzels, you're really gonna like these. It's almost like you're eating a strawberry. And then you get like the aftertaste of the shortcake. So if you're just joining us on the live stream tonight, we we did get some cool products in from BIQU we're gonna try out here in the studio. And we'll get that review content out there for you guys all in the next few weeks as we'll trickle them out one by one, so we get proper coverage on those. So, and then tonight we're going to talk about the legislation. We just talked about the new printer and the Iceman 74. What's going on? Welcome to the live stream. If you're just joining us again, we got some cool stuff in from BIQU. We got our Print Pretzels stuff that we're going to be doing here for the live stream about the legislation. We're going to cover that because that was the question on last week's stream, and we don't want to leave any questions unanswered if we can help it. We got a new printer coming to the studio from Wondermaker, so shout out to them for sending us a review unit at no cost to us in exchange for some content on it. It'll be our standard content. It won't be there's no money exchanged hands, but we are excited to get our hands on that bigger multicolor unit and see what that's all about. So without waiting any longer, let's get into some of this legislation. So last week we were asked what printer would be best to prepare for the 3D printing ban. And I don't want to lead anyone into any FUD, any fear, uncertainty, or doubt. I don't think we're going to have a 3D printing ban. I think what's happening is there is a larger problem in the 3D printing community, and it's only getting larger as time goes on and more 3D printers are out there. And it's the 3D printing of weapons and specifically guns. And I'm not on either side of the fence on the topic, but it is an issue, and I can attest to this issue because when I tried to get business insurance last year, since I'm a 3D printer company, I had a hard time finding business insurance because of no one wanted to insure a 3D printing company. I mean, I go to art fairs, I do YouTube content, and nobody wanted to insure it because of the risk of our company 3D printing or manufacturing weapons, specifically guns, is what was told to us. Also, we got an insurance company rep or insurance rep out there, and they did a searching, and then they found us an insurance company. Long story short, but it is it is a topic in the 3D printing community. So it's important to address it. So um, something that I'm going to show you guys here on screen, and I do believe I dropped it in the description, but it's just a little stat that I've come across as I was researching this. So this is from everytownresearch.org. Uh, so these are you can click on here and it'll tell you what regulations uh, regulate ghost guns is what it's technically called. But the little stat that I came down here, um, uh, they give you a description of what a ghost gun is, but the impact that I want to point out is the number of ghost guns recovered by law enforcement in the U.S. has increased at an alarming rate since 2017 to 2023 by 1,588%. It's got where the if you want to know where the information comes from, it does come from atf.gov, firearms reports and stuff like that. But more than 92,700 ghost guns were recovered across the country during that period. So, and I'm going to go back to my screen here for a second so I can look at you all. Whether you're, no matter what side of it on, that's data, and what companies do and what governments do with data is they act upon the data, especially if it's getting to be a larger issue in society. Now, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to act on these issues based on our Constitution. And what some of these laws are that we are seeing out there in Washington and New York and some of these other states that are trying to tackle this issue that is out there. Uh, some of them are not the greatest way to do it. Like, for example, the uh, Washington State, the two bills. These are the hot ones that you're seeing out there that everybody's got on the alarm radar. It's House Bill 2320. This one is uh, it bans the printing of guns, and it makes, and this is the hot part of that bill that everybody's ringing the alarm bell on, is it makes the owning of these files, the possession, I should say, not the owning, but the possession of these files, uh, illegal. And that, and it's not based on just owning it, it's based in the legislation. If you go and read it, we can go read it here together. Let's check this out. We're going to go over to House Bill 2320. So I dropped this in the chat. This tells you where it's at in process. I thought I had it here. Link in the video. I don't want that. I want the actual, yeah, there we go. View original bill. So here's the original bill. And it is a lot to go through. I mean, it's like 32 pages. But in this bill, you're going to see sections in it that are exactly what I stated earlier. I'm trying to find it. It's going to take me a second, guys. I read this earlier, but there's so much to it. Anti-firearm. I want to get to the section where it says specifically. This is just a lot of verbiage about the 3D, or about what a firearm is. Right here. Digital firearm manufacturing code means any digital instructions in form of a computer-aided design files or other code or instructions stored and displayed in electronic format as a digital model that may be used to program a three-dimensional printer or computer numerical control (CNC) milling machine to manufacture a firearm. That is okay. Distribute. These are all the definitions that they define in here. So I gotta get into the actual section here. There's so much to this bill. These are all the definitions. See if I think I got a question in the chat here. Let me go back to the Streamlabs here. Oh, you guys weren't seeing it yet. Sorry, I didn't click screen capture. So we're looking at this legislation here. And if you want to follow along, I can go back here. So this link is in the description. And if you want to get to the actual bill, you just scroll down and click View Original Bill. I'm going to scroll back down to where we need to get to. There's so much to these bills. It's just like watching or reading a novel. So manufacturer including a three-dimensional printer. So we covered that just a second ago, but I didn't have screen share. So this is what the verbiage that they're including in here. But I'm trying to find that section in this bill that the hot topic is. So here's a gross misdemeanor. These are all the punishments on it, so I think maybe I passed it. Right here. This is the verbiage that worries me. No person may sell, transfer, distribute, or offer to sell a digital firearm manufacturing code for a firearm to a person who is not licensed to manufacture firearms. So it's, let me go back to off screen share here so I can. So what this worries me on is if just having the file on your computer, if you were to click on a malicious site or something and they just inject a code onto your computer, that's a possession. But specifically in this verbiage, and if you want to click on this link and go into the depths of this bill, what the problem of this is it bases the conviction on intent to 3D print a weapon and use it, and that's not okay. I strongly suggest if you live in the state of Washington, or if your state does this, reach out to your representatives and say, hey, this isn't the way to do this. The other bill that is out there that's concerning is also in Washington state. It's the very next bill, House Bill 2321. And this is the one where they're going to lock down your printer. They're going to say after July 1st, 2027, every 3D printer is going to have some sort of algorithmic code put in the printer or upload to a server that when you go to click print, it's got to throw the file through the server and it's got to go through that code and it's got to inspect the shape of the file to make sure it's not a 3D printable weapon. To me, that just baffles me that that's where we're at. That is, who's going to pay for that? Like, what's like, we're going to pay for that. That's exactly what's going to happen. But to lock down a printer like that just doesn't make sense. To me, that's saying we're preventing the crime before it happens. And if you print this file, send this file out to be printed, and it locks it down, locks your printer down, and it calls the authorities or whatever it's going to do. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And I did some more research on this bill, and I don't think it's going anywhere. And let me show you why. Because let's make sure I click screen share. On the status bar of this bill, it hasn't moved. 2321 here. Where is it at in the process? It's introduced in committee. It's got to go through all on floor calendar, past chamber. It has not moved, and I believe it has to move so far in a certain amount of time before it just doesn't go anywhere. So it's these bills and these 3D printing laws that are coming out here. Back to me. They're it's alarming, yes, if that was where we're at. But with any tool that has come out in the nature of humanity, you know, when the camera first came out, the photographic camera came out. Go back and look at I mean, they wanted to ban those when they came out. Video cameras when they first came out, they wanted to ban those. Computers, the most recent thing, I mean, that went through a whole spiel. It's when humanity doesn't understand the tool that is out there and it's ahead of its time, and society's got to grapple with, okay, what is the possibility of this tool, and how do we make sure that it is safe for people to use and it doesn't cause any undue issues in society that can't be regulated. So whether you're on the side of regulation or whether you're on the side of non-regulation, there is an issue in our society right now where there is untraceable firearms being printed on 3D printers. Again, if you're just catching us on a live stream or on the replay, we went through that last summer when I was trying to get business insurance. Nobody would insure a 3D printing company because they can print guns. So it's just the issue of putting intent before the crime is committed, and it's just, I don't want to throw any gasoline on a fire that's already lit. So if you live in one of these states where this legislation is happening, call your representatives and say, hey, there's a right way to do this and there's a wrong way to do this. And you're going to disrupt an entire industry of makers and creationists and hobbyists. And that's not okay. There's a better way to do this. This is not the bill that needs to pass. So help us out and keep the freedom inside of 3D printing and the hobby. So if you have any questions, chat family, drop them in the comments on any of this legislation, and we can walk through it together, because you're going to learn as much as I know, and I'll learn as much as you guys know when we'll explore this topic together, because I do care about it, as we are hobbyists together. And any sort of legislation like this is just gonna really kill the creativity that is in our hobby, and it would not be ideal for these legislations to pass. So Andrew Crabb, TYI. I gotta open up the live stream chat a little bit wider here. FYI, not saying it right or wrong, inkjet printers today print a unique pattern that is visible under a microscope to prevent printing money. I know. So how do they regulate whatever they're going to regulate? If it's something like that, I don't know how that's implemented, but I mean, I see the purpose of it. I see it, but is it right? I mean, that's up to debate. And if chat family, if you or in the replay, drop it in the comments. If you feel one way or another, just be kind, and you feel free to express it, but also be open to a little bit of back and forth. But what's important is that we're aware that the issue is going on, and that we educate ourselves on it, because I don't want to have an opinion on it that one way or another if I don't have all the facts. I mean, I'll never have all the facts, but have an informed opinion. And that is a good fact to know, Andrew. I didn't know that inkjet printers today have that unique pattern. I mean, counterfeit money, that would be a big problem. If everybody could print their own money, that'd be a huge issue for society. Uh, but I just wanted to touch base on this because this was a viewer question last week, and to specifically address that question of what 3D printer can I get that would be ban proof. I don't necessarily know that there will be one, because eventually, if this legislation takes place, it's going to trickle down to the slicer. It's going to trickle down to, you can't send a file to your slicer. You can't upload to your USB without some sort of back end dark alley way. So I don't think there is going to be a printer that's going to be immune. I mean, of course, the newest printers are going to be the ones most fastest to be affected. But it'll be everything. It'll be. Do I think we're going to live in a dystopian future to where we're not going to be able to print anything, a kid's toy, like a fidget toy? I'm not sure we're going to live in that kind of a dystopian future, but I think we're going to live in a future that maybe if this legislation takes place, I think we will live in a future where maybe printing a Nerf gun is not going to be as easy as it once was. You can't just click print and go. It's going to have very similar features to that. If that algorithm is there, it's going to say, hey, this has got a certain shape. Maybe it needs to go through a review process, and it's got to be inspected by some sort of inspector or reviewer that says, okay, do I think it'll trigger 911 and the cops come to your house? I don't think so. But I don't have a crystal ball. Maybe there is a dystopian future where that is. I don't know. All I can do is base the information. And right now, one of these bills looks like it may get somewhere, and the other one I think is dead in the water. I know I haven't gotten to the New York review yet. I know there's some legislation going on there, and I think right now, the people that oversee our society, the governments that oversee our society, are trying to figure out how to tackle these issues. Andrew Krob, and how do they determine between a Nerf and a real thing? Yeah, that's like I said. How do they determine between a water blaster that you can 3D print that you put a foam pool noodle into? I mean, it's gonna look very similar. They're gonna have to have very specific algorithmic potential. So and just like you see with AI now, if it's got an algorithm, it can get it wrong. So what do they do with that process? What happens when it gets it wrong? Is there a reviewer, a human reviewer that says, hey, I need to reach out to this individual that tried to do this before I say, hey, go arrest him? So and I laugh because I don't think that's where we're headed. I think that we're headed to a place to where we're going to have regulation at some point in time. And in my opinion, I don't necessarily know if this is the right opinion or wrong opinion. It's just an opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. But in my opinion, I think the best way to do it is going to be say, hey, don't put the crime or don't put the intent before the crime. Like I'm not gonna print a gun. I have no issue or no need to do that. And if you do have a need to do that, do it licensed. Do it through the proper channels, because if something it just protects you. If something does happen with that weapon or whatever, you can say, hey, I sold it through license and I was legal to do so. Whether you share that opinion or not, that I don't know. I'm not in that world of printing weapons. I don't have any intent to be in that world of printing weapons. I am in the aspect of bringing fun to children and seeing their faces light up when they see all these cool 3D articulated toys at these art fairs that we do. I'm also in the business of bringing entertainment to YouTube and seeing the joy that the content and information that is brought to you all as the audience. So those are the worlds that I live in. I don't live in the I might print a weapon. The closest thing to a weapon that I print is a collapsible fidget sword. I got one over here in the studio. I mean, at some point, would this be considered an algorithm trigger? Like, it's got a blade, it's got a handle. Could this be considered a weapon? I don't know. I don't know if that's the world we're gonna live in or if that's the world we're headed for. But James violates the First Amendment. 3D printing is free. James, I did see that. I did see out there that the the 3D printed code, the files, they're supposed to be covered under the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. That has been a ruling by the Supreme Court. I have seen that. So is that where the debate is going to come in at? Like, where are these lines being crossed? And we have federal protections by the Constitution, and we have states that are coming in trying to say, hey, this is the law that we're going to pass, and does it get overruled by the federal? Like, these are all things we're going to experience in the 3D printing hobby because it's getting so big. And maybe I'll do a video on that, on where we're at as the 3D printing hobby. Like 10 years ago, when printers were, maybe even longer than that, could be longer than that. For me, 2017, 2018 is when I first started printing, and it's not nearly as big as it is today. Like, I literally just went to Hobby Lobby the other day trying to get filament. I feel like it's a unicorn. Like, every time I go there, they say they have it, but it's out of stock. Thankfully, Abby was able to get some when the truck got there. It's sitting right up here. Like, that is how big the hobby is today. So when something gets so big, it's going to disrupt things in unintended ways. And I think the accessibility of manufacturing in a home environment has caused governments to be like, oh, okay, we see this as an issue. We see the data that is there. How do we tackle it? And we catch up on some of these comments. Andrew Crabb, unfortunately, each state will do their own thing. Some will overreach, others won't do anything. The courts will eventually settle. Think of how in the 90s where there were no law for websites. 100%, Andrew, we are going through that. We're going through the period of time, and maybe 10 years from now, this live stream, I'll go back and watch it. I'm like, yeah, we did go through that. We're going through the period of time to where governments are figuring out how to properly regulate. Some of them will overreach, and then some of them will be put in check through their checks and balances systems. Hopefully, that's what they're there for. That's what the Constitution is there for, is to keep things in balance. And whether you're on, no matter what side of this debate you're on, we are going through this in this moment. The fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt, it's all there. The scare is there. I feel it as a creator. Like, what world are we heading for? It is scary. Will our studio here, like, will I be put on a hotspot radar? Like, am I going to be put on a locator? Like, this is a potential crime factory because I 3D print. Like, is that where we're headed? I don't think so. But it is a potential future. Catch up on some more of these comments. And then Andrew says, then the courts change things through lawsuits. Yes, I think that is where this is going to play out. I think legislation gets passed, and then I think we're going to see our judicial system at work in overtime when it comes to 3D printing, because we're in the spotlight now. We're in the limelight. I saw a comment somewhere on some maker page somewhere that, it was not exactly the nicest comment in the world that they had for this maker, and I felt a little sad for them. But the comment was made like, everybody and their grandma is out here 3D printing things for art fairs now. Like, that is where we're at. Everybody has access to these machines. They're affordable. Some of them, $100 can get you a machine that is capable of printing different things. I'm not saying that $100 is the greatest investment for a machine. I'm just saying that is the accessibility. It's kind of like TVs. When the big screen TVs first came out, I don't remember, or was it the late 90s? I mean, technology is becoming more available to do manufacturing. And I touched on this in a live stream prior to this, that I potentially think that there is going to be at some point in time, just like cell phones, computers, microwaves, ovens, I think 3D printing is going to become so accessible that it is going to be in most likely in, I don't want to say every home because I won't it won't be in every home, but like in one of 3 homes in America, and there in probably one of 10 homes across the world. I think there's going to be a 3D printer because at some point in time, I don't know if anybody has ever seen Back to the Future or movies like that. Print your own shoes. We can do that now. We can print our own shoes. I mean, it takes a little bit of dialing your printer in, but at some point, will computers and not will, I think they will become so good at it where you click and it's there in 6 hours. You don't have to go to Walmart to buy shoes anymore. What does that mean for that industry? I don't know. But that's where we're at. We are, I mean, look at AI. I mean, no matter what side of the fence you're on, whether AI is the devil or AI is the best thing for humanity, no matter what side of that fence you're on, it is changing the world we live in. It has changed my world. It has changed artists' world. Like we see the fad that just came out right now, that the caricatures that's all over Facebook. Hey, I can do a caricature of myself in AI. Okay, yeah, we can do that. What does that mean for the artists that do caricatures? We can do it with AI now in a split second. What about the artists that do that work? Like we got to think about them too. Like there's the world is moving so fast. I think governments are in a little bit of a panic on how to keep up with it. Like this is a prime example. We're moving so fast with the 3D printing world now. I mean, how many people 10 years ago had a printer factory in their basement? We do now. So that that is how fast the world is moving, and you're going to see governments overreach in initially, and then have to be put in check because of the Constitution. That's what it's there for. If it doesn't, then that's a whole other series of things. But the purpose of this live stream isn't to create that fear and uncertainty and doubt. This is to kind of like help cooler heads prevail and say, hey, I'm not saying wait and not do anything. That's why I put the links in the description where you can reach out to the ones that I am aware of, to Washington State. If you live there, please reach out to your representative and say, this isn't the right way to do this. Like you're going to disrupt an entire industry of creators and hobbyists and people who bring joy to the community. They won't be able to do what they do because of what you're trying to pass. I'm saying if you live there and this is affecting you, please advocate for the 3D printing community, because if it starts there, it's gonna trickle down to other states. They're gonna say, okay, this is passed, it's stayed, now we're gonna do it. As far as I'm aware of, Michigan, where we live, hasn't started that yet, so I haven't had the need to advocate. Because if I advocate for Washington State, I'm not a resident there, so my word would go to the bottom of the bucket. But if it happens here in Michigan, or if it happens federally, I will 110% advocate for it. So if it's happening near you, call your representative, find those website links that sends emails to your representative, and advocate for the freedom of speech and the freedom of creation, because that is important. Bringing joy to the others around you with these machines is important. Seeing the smile on my son's face when he sees a unicorn come off of the 3D printer is important. Like those memories are important. And if these laws pass as are or as is, those will cease to exist because it'll just trickle down. It'll be, well, not trickle down, snowball. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me catch up on some of the comments. Sorry, a little bit of a soapbox there. Lots of fax machines, Back to the Future. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these movies that you see out there that look forward, Back to the Future, things like that, it is kind of surreal. No, if you're watching, is it Total Recall? No, not Total Recall. There was a movie that was put out with Sandra Bullock and I want to say Arnold Schwarzenegger. But there was like the three seashells. We're not there, thankfully, but uh, the world is moving very rapidly. I learned a statistic the other day that I think it's every 7 months, AI doubles its learning capacity. When does that stop? Like that is a whole nother thing. I saw something somewhere on Facebook today where uh, the world is starting to incorporate AI into robotics. And like that's a whole, is that an iRobot type thing? Like I'm not trying to push dystopian type thing, but bringing it back to 3D printing, it's moving so fast. And these overreaches happen, in my opinion. And you feel free to share your opinion if you agree with it or not. Uh, agree with it or not in the chat family or in the comments replay family. Uh, it it is because governments have to play catch up. They have to play catch up to how fast the industry moves and any potential disruptions that may be caused by it. There are outliers, of course. You know, politics play a game. I won't go into that. I don't touch politics. Not my thing. Uh, at least on this channel. It's just the world is moving so fast and they're playing catch up. Was there a right way to play catch up and a wrong way? There sure is. And the right way is to not infringe on constitutional rights, and to let the courts handle and the legislation that come together and make that sweet spot. We are where we are today because we got through the 90s and we got through the early 2000s, and computers and websites and phones and cameras and all those things, they got their FCC regulations and their what their cans and cannot do's, and we're here and we're okay. So that is what tonight's live stream is all about. So let me get some of the new attendees for our live stream caught up to where we are today, right now in this moment. Today, positive note, we got some cool things from BIQU. If you're joining us, we got the Cryo Grip new color from them. They sent us to a review. So we're on their radar. So thanks again, BIQU, for that. We got a few other things from them. We're gonna cover that. This is their new Cryo Grip blue purple plate. I'm really excited to get this on one of our machines and start testing it out. It's got some sort of sticker in here that I dropped earlier. It's a care plate. It tells me how to take care of it. That's cool. And then we got a couple of things from BIQU that I'm really excited about. The panda alarm. I've been having my eye on this one for a while, and because for us here in the studio, when I'm walking around monitoring the different printers or recording a long form video, I would like to be able to look over at the printer and say, hey, is it going? Or is it in a color change? Is there an error? Like if I just look over at it, I don't know if there's something wrong with it. It could be in a color change. This is really going to help. There's an audible alarm. I believe it can be muted, but there's also an LED indicator on this. And the other item that they sent that works with it is going to be the Panda status. This gives it the H2 vibe, and that LED bar. And these can be synced together from what I saw on the BIQU site. And then they also sent the Panda diaper. That's going to come in handy on maintenance days. And if you replay family, if you're watching this video, check out this video because it's the P1S maintenance day. That's important to have. That bottom of that enclosure is a pain in the butt when it comes to vacuuming. I have a nice vacuum that I can stick in there, but if you don't have one of those, being able to brush it out, it gets caught on that front lip. So that Panda diaper handles that issue. So we'll get that uploaded. We'll drop those in over the next few weeks as we get that recorded. Let me catch up on some of the chat, and then I'll get into the next thing to catch you guys up on. AI, the recursive plague. Hey, that is that is an opinion to have. I don't have an opinion. I see both avenues. Like I can see the end of, you know, what is it, Skynet for Terminator, end of the world type of thing, and then I see the positivity with humanity, and the assistive technology that it has. I can see both paths where we're gonna go. I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know, and it's okay to say we don't know. Um, it, I don't think AI is going away, that's for sure. But getting back to the other announcement that I have to catch you guys up on if you're just joining on the live stream, I did reach out to Wondermaker after someone on the live stream last week brought that new printer that they just dropped, the ZRS Ultra S. So checking out that, I'm going to screen share with you guys again. I'll make sure I click it, I promise. Sometimes I forget. So that Wondermaker printer, it's really cool. we did reach out to Wondermaker. They don't have any review units yet for the Ultra, but they are sending us a ZR, which is the same frame, just doesn't have the 4 tool heads. So you'll see that in the studio here. I got the shipping information sent to me today. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll do the unboxing and then start covering on that printer as well. But the Wondermaker ZR Ultra, 4 times tool heads. So you're going to see very similar to the Snapmaker that we have here in the studio. 4 tool heads, 4 color changes. The standard ZR has the 300 by 300 by 300 millimeter build plate volume. You're going to lose a little bit on this because of the 4 tool heads. They're going to eat up a little bit of that space, more so on one dimension than the other because it takes up a little bit more space towards the back versus the other direction. They're advertising 600 millimeters per second, which makes sense because it's a tool swapper. I do notice that the Snapmaker is slightly slower than our bamboos, but they don't have to go through print head swaps. 4 tool heads, 5 color swaps, 24 faster material change, heated independently. That's a cool thing I didn't cover earlier. Heated independently, that they can heat up on the way to that color change. So there's no interruption of print time. So they're just advertising some of the things here that they've printed. Zero waste printing, which is huge. I can't state enough on how much I can't wait till we get enough of these zero waste printers in the studio. I can get rid of some of these purge bins that I have below the sanctum here in the back. I'll show you those in a minute. But that is a huge thing that's causing issue in the industry right now. So these are the features that you can see in it. That's cool. We don't have many printers in the studio that have touchscreens. The Centauri Carbons do, and also the A1 Minis do, but our P1Ss do not. Light up your space. They're advertising it has a nice light. It looks like in the back there. So hopefully it does. A lot of these printers, when they come out, they do not have the greatest lighting. Efficient cooling, stable performance. Start your 3D printing journey. What's really neat is, I guess they don't have it on here. Maybe it's under another. Oh yeah, it is. It's going to be under the S, the Ultra S. So if you want the enclosed version, the Ultra S is going to be this one right here. Just one printer. And you're going to see that. I'm going to talk about it here in a second. It does look a very similar frame in FlashForge's industry and then also Elegoo's industry. They all have that similar style of frame, and the spools on the side seems to be a popular way to go about things. Let me get back to the bamboo sanctum here for you all. James, static bed like the Arco. No, this one is going to be the bed that raises up and down. I don't think there's many printers that have a static bed like the Arco. I'm not sure if that's going to be a proprietary design or if the industry is going to adopt that. I did like the fact that it was static and it caused a lot less vibrations. Excuse me, but it did make that excuse me, it did make that poop chute much lower though. So that could be a whole nother thing, because if the the purge chute is lower, you don't get to like funnel it out the side and with the purge things that you can see like on Maker World and stuff. You know, I don't do that. I have it go straight to the table into our bins down here. That's how I handle purge for our machines. But back to the topic, I want to jump on over to the Alpha Centauri side here real quick and make sure I catch up on the comments. So for those of you that are joining the live stream, so we don't have the Centauri Carbon 2 in the studio here yet. We might get one, I don't know. But Centauri 2 has 4 cool. It's got the top hat that they're putting out for it. FlashForge has got a very similar printer. There's on the sides, goes into the side. Elegoo calls it their canvas system, and fully think that if Wondermaker is going to do this with the changer, I think that I fully think FlashForge is probably going to do it, and Elegoo is probably going to do it as well. They're tool changer in the back, maybe a bigger enclosure, but I think it's going to system as well. I just want to show you guys that, and we're probably going to put the ZR Ultra or ZR printer here. We're getting the enclosure kit with it. So, and then you can see the frozen air purifier Max over there doing its job, filtering out the air and venting it. Bye-bye. So just giving you guys a little bit of update over there on the Alpha Centauri side. Get you back over here to me. So if you guys have any questions, chat family, whether it's about new 3D printers or if you have any new 3D printers like last week that we weren't aware of, drop it in the chat. Let me know. I'm definitely interested on anything that's coming out there, especially if it's with the either a tool head or in a really into that wasteless 3D printing, because since I started multicolor printing, I don't even want to know the amount of filament that has just been into the trash can. I I don't even want to know how many fish have probably eaten a purge pellet out there in the ocean. But I'm glad to see the industry is tackling this problem. I do see some of the things out there that they're. I think Creality just put it out that they're doing a filament recycler for home. I'm not sure. I saw the loop system a while back. I don't know if anything has come of that, but I see that has been out there in the world. It was interesting to see Creality start that, because I'm hoping that eventually there will be no more purge machines, that eventually the tool changers will get so affordable that they'll be able to be bought by the standard, I don't want to say standard, the more budget conscious consumer, because not everybody can afford a Snapmaker, or not everybody can afford a was it the Prusa Core 1, the one with the 5 tool changers, and it's like $3,200. I can't afford that, no way. So it would be good to see that those trickle down eventually, just like with how when multicolor came out. I mean, they were expensive. I can't remember what the X1 Carbon and the P1S came out with. Were they $900,000? Now they're like 400. So I mean, I think with when a new generation of whatever happens next, those tool changers will become really budget friendly. So just a few years probably. Iceman 74. Yeah, Creality posted a picture of it. Yeah, I saw them do that, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting development in the 3D printing community, because I think purge is going to be around for a while, especially as these machines get cheaper and cheaper. And I mean, they're not going anywhere, so they're going to be around. So if they can figure out how to recycle that filament, I don't know if you have a bucket of filament, what colors are going to come out? I don't know, probably black. It's definitely not going to come out white. You're going to have to filter your color changes. But at least it's being able to be reused for whatever other project you have. Now, how that's going to work when you have filaments, because I print in PLA and PETG all in one machine, like, I don't know what's going to happen if you put PETG pellets with PLA pellets. I know they don't like to adhere, so what's it going to do to your machine? I mean, that's a whole other video, but that's just a nugget to think about later for those things. But it's another part of the 3D printing community that is moving forward and tackling an issue. This technology in general is just moving so fast. I just think we're in 2026 now, and it feels like just a few years ago was 2018. In 10 more years, or not even, that wasn't even 10. My math is bad. 8 more years. What's the world going to be like? It's buckle your seatbelt, kids. It's gonna be a bumpy ride for these legislations. We're gonna get some bumps and bruises. We're gonna get some hurt feelings. We're gonna get some overreach by governments, and they're gonna have to be held in check by our constitutions or whatever rights they have we have in place. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it together. I do not think we're gonna have some sort of dystopian and You can't print a kid's toy for your kid at home. That would break my heart if we did. So I think we're going to be okay. But if you see these laws come out, and I'm not downplaying it though, please don't think this is that. If you see these laws come out in legislation in an area near you, I do advocate for you to act and say, hey, this is not okay if it crosses these lines, if it crosses a constitutional issue. Like, it's not okay. If it puts that the intent as a crime, that is not okay. If owning this file, if this file is on my computer, I haven't done anything with it yet, I may not ever do anything with it. It could be a Nerf gun. Like, that is not okay to write a legislation. That is not what I'm advocating for at all. If these laws come to fruition, it's not going to be good. There will be contested. These companies will file legal lawsuits, as one of our chat family said earlier. I think it was Andrew. Andrew stated earlier. These companies will come back and say, no, this is not okay. Because I mean, at the end of the day, money is a big player in our society. Like, money talks, and you know what the rest of the statement is. But if it disrupts an industry that bad to where it's going to lock down a printer, companies aren't going to stand for it. And if companies aren't going to stand for it, it's really going to start to snowball. So I think we're going to be okay. I don't think you have to worry about what printer I'm going to need to print in the dark, per se, in the dark. I think we're going to be okay with that, replay family and chat family. I don't think we're in for a dark ages of 3D printing. But again, if these laws come out near you and they're put in the public light, like House Bill 2320 and 2321 in Washington State are, please contact your representative. Don't let the lights go dark in our printers and our hot ends go cold. Because to me, at least in my life and our life here as Glorious Geeks, it brings a lot of joy to our community to see kids walking around with 3D printed articulated animals and all sorts of different things. Just, it brings too much joy to let the negativity and the potential for negativity to close up shop for anything like that. So I hope this message gets to the legislation and they understand, and like, go to a 3D printer hobbyists, if I'm assuming that they're okay with you going there, or reach out to someone, legislators who you know is a social media creator and that has a 3D printing community, and get their feedback, get your constituents' feedback through them. That's important. So our communication to our legislators is important. So that's my spiel on that. Ash, yo, welcome to the live stream. So, chat family, I got a question wrote down here somewhere for you. Right around here somewhere. I think I've looked at my notes like twice. What, chat family or replay family, drop it in the comments. What headline has made you worry the most? Put it on my radar. Let me know. Let me do some research. What headline has made you worry the most? We've covered the Washington, I don't want to say debacle, but it's not. It wasn't the greatest legislation put out there in the world, in my opinion. Like, what has caused your concern? Is it the Washington legislation? Is it the New York legislation? Is it legislation that I'm not aware of yet? Drop it in the comments. What's this about 3D printing being banned? Ash, currently in Washington, there is legislation that is out there that it makes it illegal to hold a 3D file of a weapon. There's specifically a gun type weapon, which is unleashed a whole lot of controversy. The specific two bills are House Bill 2320 and 2321. Those links are in the description for this live stream. You can check those out. But the other one, 2321, I reference my notes here so I should make sure I get it right. Uh, uh, it introduces, and this is the one that was really controversial. It introduces that manufacturers have to put into their printers or through their slicers or somehow, some way, put an algorithm in their machines that look at shapes of objects to identify whether it can be a weapon, printed as a weapon or not, whether it's a component. What I mean, and to me, that just doesn't make sense logically. Like, even, I mean, as great as AI is or is not, it gets things wrong. And what happens if this algorithm gets it wrong? Does it call 911 and it just check that bill out? It's it is what this 3D ban is all about. And it's not just that bill. There's other states that are trying to tackle this bigger issue of ghost guns, is what it's being labeled as. And it is a real issue, because last year, and I'll recap this real quick for the live stream. Last year, we tried to get business insurance as the Glorious Geeks, and we were denied several times because we have 3D printers and have the capability to print guns. I've never and will never, ever print a gun unless it's a Nerf gun or some sort of thing for my child to shoot bubbles out of. I don't know. But as far as a actual firearm, I will never do that. But it was our insurance claim, or not claim, but our insurance acquisition was denied based on intent, or the possibility of intent to do something, and that's not right. To me, that's not right. Eventually, we did get insurance. I got an insurance rep, and they did some searching, and we got insurance. But my point is that's not okay, in our opinion, and specifically my opinion, that being denied insurance based on intent that's not cool. But so that's our real world experience on that. And then there's also statistics out there that we presented earlier in the live stream, that it is getting to be a big issue. Like 93,270, don't quote me on that number, but it is in that live stream description, that resource. That many weapons have been seized since 2017 to today, of 3D printed weapons that don't have serial numbers, and that's the big issue. So that's a quick recap for you. And chat, let me catch up on Iceman's comment here. 3D Print Nerd did a video telling them to come to his warehouse. Yes, I encourage, if a legislature, if they need information, please contact me. I will be happy to provide information on what this community is all about. Please don't let fear write your legislation, is what I would push out there. Do not let fear write your legislation. Let logic and compassion write your legislation, because where there is negativity, there's also so much positivity. Like, if you haven't seen 3D printing affect your life in the positive, please reach out to me, and I will give you specific examples on how it can do so much good for the community. Chat family and replay family, if you're watching this live stream, I have another question for you. Are you printing as a hobby or selling prints? That makes a difference too. If you're printing as a hobby, this is a small, I don't want to diminish it, but it is a smaller nexus of a topic, versus if you're selling 3D prints or bringing that joy to a community as a whole, or several communities, or statewide. This legislation affects you. So if you're in that boat, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Say, hey, I'm a hobbyist. I print for my kids. I print for myself. I print parts for my lawnmower. I mean, printing parts could be affected too. So drop it in the comments. Let me know. What does 3D printing mean to you? Because that's important. Like, we're like we all are involved in this in one way, shape, or form, whether it's a hobbyist or as a an art fair seller like we are, or even if you're a manufacturer, if you have a warehouse of 3D printers, like 3D printing nerd does, like it affects them too. We're seeing it right now. We're living through this moment as this legislation is coming through and governments are figuring out how to grapple this in the best way. And there will be lawsuits. There will, like, the courts are going to have to get involved because there will, as one of our chat family members earlier mentioned, there will probably be overreach, and that's what our Constitution is for, and that's the firm ground that we stand upon. I mean, cool toys I don't need but want. Well, imagine a world that there are no more 3D printers at art fairs. You can't just, there's no fidget toys anymore because they have a component that flexes like part of a weapon. Like, what? That could be a world that we live in. I don't want to go down that world. I don't think we're going to that world. I think our checks and balances system is going to keep us on the path, but it could. Uh, but we've went through the 90s, we went through the 2000s, we went through other parts of history that have had uh, controversial uh, uh, evolution in technology. So, and we made it through those. I think we're going to make it through these, and there'll be more as humanity continues to grow uh, and gets more technologically advanced. This won't be the last time that this happens, but we are living through this as our hobbyists in the 3D printing world. Uh, so in if you're in the chat family, or if you're in the chat family, or if you're in the replay watching this, how do you guys think that this should be best handled? And keep it professional, keep it kind, but and tell me, how do you think it should be handled? Because our opinions matter. Everyone's opinions matter. We're allowed to have our opinions. Being professional and kind is what keeps us opinions and not unfriendly. So let me know uh, on what those would mean, what this means to you. So it's important to connect and realize that this isn't I'm sitting at home. This stuff just affects me. It affects all of us, and having that community connection is important. So let me know on how you think this should be handled, because I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer. I just know that currently the way things are being framed, I think it infringes on some rights. That's for sure. So that's where we're at in the legislation, and it's I will definitely say, out of everything that I have gone through, like the internet age, the phone age, uh, I think this is definitely the most alarm bell ringing that I've seen. But again, when those ages were here, I wasn't the age that I am, so that could be a factor too. When the internet age was here, I think I maybe was 15. Like that was a different time, but I was cognizantly aware of it. But history has shown that we come through it, and we will come through it together, no matter how it uh, unless they turn off the internet. Uh, I will be here on Print Pretzels. I don't if it's a dystopian one, we'll figure out how to do it, chat family and replay family. We'll figure out how to do it, but it might be in the dark. uh, so, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form that we're headed there. Uh, we're we're gonna get through it, and checks and balances will be had. And if anything comes up here in Michigan, I will definitely be ringing the alarm bell for us here, because it's important, and the no creator's rights should be infringed upon. The importance of bringing joy to people's lives is important too, not just the fear. If you're just now joining us on the live stream, some of the cool things to get away from that fear and uncertainty and that rabbit hole, some of the cool things that we have developing this week. We did get our package in from BIQU. They sent us some things to review. One of those things is the Cryo Grip build plate, the purple one. They have sent us this, and we're excited to try this out. It's their new. They have a whole color slew arriving now. I want to get my hands on the lime green one because it matches our theme here, the Bamboo Sanctum. But we're gonna try this out. We're gonna do some test prints on it. I'll get some of the live or the long form content up, and then the next two kind of go hand in hand. And specifically for us here in the studio, that they're super helpful for is, or I think they're going to be super helpful for, we'll test it out and figure it out. As I'm walking down here in the studio and whether I'm doing maintenance day or I'm doing recording or whatever it is I'm doing, feeding the cats, making sure they're staying out of trouble, I would like to be able to look over at my printers and see if there's an error going on, if they're printing just fine, if they're and if there's an error but it's not causing any issues, because a lot of the times if they're going through a color change, then obviously the tool head's not moving, but also if there's an issue, the tool head won't move. So what these two do, the panda alarm goes on the side of the P1S and kind of like looks as like a cool little Dragon Ball Z power reader. Those of you that are Dragon Ball Z fans, it has an LED status indicator on it, and it also has an audible thing on it, kind of like the A1 and A1 Mini has that beep beep, or the jingles and stuff that go on with that. But that's cool. That works like that. In theory, I don't know. I haven't used one of these yet. And then also the Panda status is similar. Doesn't have the audibility, but it goes underneath the build plate, underneath here. And if you've seen the H2 series, that has that built in, and it literally just tells you your status, tells you the progress of your print. So like the LEDs build up as your print gets closer to being done. And the cool thing about BIQU is they have made these work together, so you can program them so that all the LED indicators sync or go in sync. So we're going to try that out over the next couple weeks and get that content out to you. The second thing that I'm going to bring to your guys' attention, we'll go back into the printers to check it out, but we did reach out to Wondermaker, and they are sending us a Wondermaker ZR, not the ZR Ultra, the 4-tool one, but the standard ZR that has the 300 by 300 by 300 build plate, multicolored, full 4 colors through the side with the enclosure and the camera kit. So they sent that out to us. I got the shipping notification for it today, so we're excited, and we have that area getting ready for that over in the Alpha Centauri side of the studio here. So just to get you guys caught up if you're just joining our live stream, cool things are happening in the studio, positive things. And it's important with these 3D laws that are coming out and that we're seeing, and we're living through this in the moment. Please remain positive. Don't go into the dystopia. I know it's easy to do. I binge watched some of this content. I binge read all those laws, got up to speed on it. It's easy to do the deep dive into the rabbit hole on this. But remember, stay connected with your family. Stay connected with positivity, and it's important to not let the fear, uncertainty, and doubt rule you on this. Sure, it makes great clickbait, but it also is important to acknowledge, though, because this could shape the world that we print in. So stay positive, but also stay aware. So if you're joining the live stream, I hope that catches you up. And chat family, replay family, let me know how you feel on these. Keep it kind, keep it friendly. But I want to know, how does this affect you? Tell me how it affects you. I've told you that it affects us from last year, not being able to get insurance, all the way to today, that it would drastically change our business and really would probably cripple what we do at art fairs, because if we have to send things to the algorithm, what goes and what doesn't go. Like, can I print Cinderwings things now? Can I print our Hatchy Pals now? Like, does the articulation resemble a 3D printed weapon? Like, I don't know. That would be a weird world to live in, that's for sure. and a very crippling world for a business. But like I was demonstrating on a live stream earlier, like these 3D printed swords that we've recently had some fun with. I mean, that there's a blade mechanism. Okay, it can print a gun, it can print a knife. Like, when does that happen? When does that legislation come into play? Like, that's the rabbit hole. Stay away from it. Be aware, but don't deep dive. Andrew, I think there is a lot of misinformation about 3D printing, and it's our job to educate. You are 100% correct. There is a ton, an absolute metric ton of misinformation and uncertainty and that fear that 3D printing that is out there. I mean, I experienced it as in a different form, in a different way when I was, or when I still do, but when I first got into Dungeons and Dragons, it was there's so much misinformation. It's a game that you play as a hero. Actually, usually there's other ways you can play it, but usually you play it as the hero and you do the save, beat the villain, and you get the adventure. And that's not how it was painted when it first came out. So, and 3D printing is going through the same thing. We're going through, oh, I can print a gun at home. That's the fear. Well, what about I can print my kid a unicorn and the joy, a giraffe. He really liked the giraffe. I can print my kid a giraffe and the joy that you see on their face when it comes off the printer. Like, where there's fear, there's hope. Like, and Andrew, you are 100% correct when you say it is our job as those in the hobby to educate and push back against the fear, because there is other things than fear. So I appreciate that comment, Andrew. Shout out to you. So and if you're in the chat or in the replay, what printer do you have? What printer do you have that you think this would affect you? I mean, it's going to affect all of them, but what printer model do you have? I've seen things out there where Bamboo, it might not affect them as much because they might have something already baked into their software. Okay, if it is already baked in, okay, they're prepared. I think, I don't know. That's just speculation. I saw one video that stated that, and like, but what printer do you have that? The question was dropped last week. What printer can I get that would be immune to this type of dystopian thing? I mean, outside of uh, one of the old bed levelers, I'm not sure there would be, because even the bed levelers needed a slicer. If you got to slice it, eventually it's going to get to the slicer companies. It's going to get the Orca slicer. It's going to shut. Like, Orca slicer is not going to be open sourced anymore. It's going to have to be regulated. Like, it's gonna to come together. So we got to push back. We got to educate. We gotta provide that hope and that positivity to let them know, yeah, it's an issue. It can be tackled in a great way, but not disrupt all the hope and positivity that is out there. So I hope you guys are enjoying this content. This is actually, I don't know if you can read the paper or not, but this is episode 2 that I'm doing, like a 4-part series. Like, we talked about the new printers, we got the positivity going on that. Then we're like, okay, this is a real issue at this time. And then next week we'll bring it back to 3D printing, in like what new printers are coming out, what new equipment's coming out, what we think might be coming out. That's foreshadowing. But and what it's really about, what new printers are going to matter and what ones really don't. So, foreshadowing for you guys all for next week, the printers that are going to matter are going to be ones that push the innovation and can do it right. And what printers do we think currently that we know of, that we have access to, and companies that we are aware of have access to, that are really going to push those boundaries? And one of them, sneak peek, one of them was covered last week, and then we're going to have some other things that we'll cover there. So that's the positivity, hope, and direction that we're going to focus on next week. Excuse me, as what we think is going to matter and what we think is not going to matter in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. And we gave some nuggets this week on the live stream covering that. And it's about real world use and how do these models, these printers make things better, not only for the hobbyists, but also for like the environment and stuff. Like how does it make the world a better place? So things like that. And then finally, the fourth episode will be, and just because it's an episode doesn't mean that Print Pretzels is going to end. It's just that this little arc that we're kind of wrapping it all into. And then the fourth episode is going to be what we think, budget not bound, what we would get, and what we wouldn't get, like our recommendations currently in this moment in time, things that are available. And there will be a heavy caveat on budget not bound. So like, of course, we have a budget. Everyone has a budget usually, unless you're a multimillionaire. And even then, sometimes they have budgets. There's different ways. But budget not bound, that's probably what I might title the episode. I don't know. But I wanted to let you guys know that this is a little mini series that we're doing. So I hope you enjoy that content. But again, exciting things are happening here in the studio for us, and I want to give shout outs to some of our OG members. Andrew, thank you for hanging around with us since the beta days of Print Pretzels. Same thing for you, Ash and Iceman, James, you as well. Like our OGs, like I hope that you guys are enjoying this journey as you see us go from 100 subscribers to 500 subscribers to 1,300 subscribers is what we just reached today. This journey has been so fun, taxing at times, but fun, and creating this community has been a joy, where we support each other, and especially here on Print and Pretzels. Like last week, we were talking about, we helped out a couple of viewers that were new to the channel, and got them some information that they needed, and it made people aware of, hey, these new printers are out here. We're not backing them. We're not doing anything with them, but they're out there. Learn about them, and enjoy the hobby. And if you guys have any feedback, and not just the OG chat family, but if any of you have any feedback for the channel, let me know. One of the things I would like to do, I'm not going to put things behind a paywall that we do currently. Whenever the monetization happens, and this is for those of you that have stuck around for quite a while, whenever the monetization happens, let me know like what your thoughts are on that, because this is community shaped and community driven. Our email is in the description, and if it's not, it's definitely in last week's description. But let me know, like, what do you guys envision for this? Like, it is important, like, as the community, I don't want the core to change. The additional support will definitely help. I will say that right now. But I don't want the core to change. Print and Pretzels is super near and dear to my heart. I enjoy this so much, especially last week's took off. So I think we're gaining traction here on the studio. So things are happening that are awesome. So I want our community to have feedback on that. David Walton, happy your channel is growing. I hope you stay grounded as you get offers and try to figure out products. Some YouTubers get consumed by that. That's what I mean about the core thing. Like, it's cool and it's exciting to see companies like FlashForge and Wondermaker reach out to us, BIQU, reach out to us. I don't want to be consumed by it. I want to be, I'll make content like this because if it's going to help environment here in the studio, I want to do it. Or if it's a new printer out there that is available out there, I want to be the tester so that I can say, hey guys, this works and this doesn't work. That's what that aspect is important to me. I'm not gonna. I don't want to become one of those channels that I got this thing and I don't use it. Like, it is not helpful. Like, that's not what I want to become. I care about the community, and I care about those of you. with the maintenance videos, those are out there to help. Uh, that's part of like getting the new machines and stuff. Like get a new machine, do a maintenance video on it. Okay, if these people, if people get this machine, these people are have this need, let's fulfill that need. I don't want to put that behind a paywall. So um, I don't think we're getting anywhere near watch hours yet, but I just wanted to touch base with you guys as a community and let you know that I still here grounded. This is a journey that's been so enjoyable. And seeing you guys every week and hanging out on Print Pretzels has been a joy. They need to hire you to make spa days for your new printers coming out. Hey, if that happens, if I would be very happy if a new printer comes out and someone says, hey, could you make a spa day for our printer? That would be like such a fulfillment because the label of spa day, like to me, it, it makes like, yeah, it's maintenance. We have to do it, but let's put a spin on it to where it's like not a hassle. Like spa day is refreshing your machine and keeping it a healthy employee. So I appreciate that comment, David. Shout out to you on that one. It's important uh, because the just like our cars, you know, they're only going to run so far as we take them and we take care of them. So, but uh, I don't know if you guys have checked out that frozen enclosure video or not. That was probably the most enjoyable video that I've made so far, just because the cats interacted with me so much. Dante, give me a good whop. A sneak peek there. So there's a good blooper in there. I threw in there for you all. And I at some point in time I want to do some like behind the scenes blooper content for you all. That'll be pretty fun. So. Hope I haven't lost anybody on the little side rails that we got. Just wanted to inject some hope into the live stream for you guys as we go through this hard time in the not only the studio but in the real world of the legislation that's coming up, because it is scary. It is scary. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that at all, even though I have sugarcoated pretzels. So, is there anything out there that you guys have, chat family or replay family, that you have concerns of over where things are going? Because concerns are real. Like we don't know where this stuff is going. David, your cats are your signature helpers. Um, some of them think they're management. Some of them think I'm the helper. Shout out to Dante on that last video. He gave me a good whop and said, get back to work. But you are correct. Cats are a big part here. Sneak peek. I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but I have to get to it. I do want to do a cat caverns thing around here. I have an extra camera. I want to put it on there so that we'll create like a little enclave for them in the studio, because they are a very important part of us here at the Glorious Geeks. They in an otherwise environment that we have here in the studio, without them, it would be a very cold, and I don't mean temperature wise, it'd be a very cold and unhumane environment, lack of humanity environment in emotion. So they bring the warmth and the emotion to this environment in such a joyful way. And I got like things thrown all over the table here. Check my notes here to make sure I didn't miss anything for you guys for tonight's live. James, big cat guy too. It's definitely a huge plus. Yeah, and even for those that aren't cat people, I've gotten comments on some things that, you know, it's just a neat twist for everyone that's out there, that there is a lot of 3D printing channels out there, and it's just a neat niche inside of a niche. Oh, uh, another update that I have for you all. I did just become a Chewy creator. They did just accept me into the Chewy program. So uh, what that means, I don't know yet. I have to go in through and look through that. That's on my to-do list. But as a neat in development as our channel here in the studio, like we get to do a Chewy storefront and like what our cats like. It's always kind of gonna be kind of a fun component to see. And if you guys haven't seen our beacons page, we'll link that into our beacons page so you can see uh, that it was a neat surprise that we got. I'm glad we'll be able to support our feline friends in that way. Uh, so I was looking for something here specifically. James, Chewy like yeah, James, Chewy like the pet food site, absolutely. Yeah, we just linked into their Chewy creator program. So probably my next admin day. I usually have those on Mondays. Uh, I'll get into the nitty gritty on that and what that means for our channel and how that looks. But yeah, the Chewy pet food site, they saw our short form content and that last video that we just did, and they're like, hey, yeah, you have animals and they are a big part of what you do. So we can definitely do something like that. And they start us out at the you can do the affiliate program, which is just like any other affiliate program, or you can do the creators program, or both, which I think we're going to do both. But um, it just gives you a different way to be supported by Chewy through that. And like I'll link our what I'm balancing what to do with this, but currently what's going through my mind is like creating a profile for each one of our cats in the studio on there and like what their food preferences are and like giving them a little bit of a diva exposure on that. So uh, that that'll be an interesting intake. I'm gonna have to sit down and like get a profile picture of each one of the cats. And if you guys know what cats, they don't like to sit still for very long. So it's been an interesting development on that part. Something I didn't expect, which is cool. Those are always neat surprises. There was something I wanted to bring out to you guys, and if I need to, I'll do it in a community post. If you guys haven't paid attention, I've been trying to be a little bit more active on the community posts um, eh, on the channel. And if you want to follow us on Facebook too, do that. I'm always updating on that, but you'll see a lot more of our local stuff there too, if you're interested in that. Um, we do have a couple of announcements coming up. I don't want to give any too many details away, but we are going to do an event in our local community here pretty soon. And also, we did just sponsor, uh, excuse me, and I'll probably put the post out uh, next week. We did sponsor a young man for the community in Grand Rapids, which is about an hour and a half south of here. He's doing his own cheering section in a Special Olympics event on I think it's the 14th. And we sent him about 150 3D printed articulated ducks. Not this size, but we did send him 150 little 3D articulated printed ducks to give out to those attending the Special Olympics event because we wanted to support the Special Olympics down in Grand Rapids. So we did reach out to them and sponsor them. So that was something that we did in our local community, and we're doing something in February. It'll be next month in March that we're going to be doing. So we do try to keep in touch with our community here because they are a big part of what we do, especially in the summer with those art fairs, because we care. Like we want to put the humanity back into 3D printing. So that's what I wanted to get out to you guys, that we are doing some sort of what we can at this smaller size channel and keeping in touch with our community. So, but I hope everyone has had a good time on the live stream tonight. We're getting closer to the end. And I do want to recap for those of you that have joined towards the end. We are growing as a content creator channel, and it's exciting. We're getting these printer. I'm getting emails in the inbox now at the gloriousgeeks01@gmail.com on like affiliate things, and then sponsor. Not, I haven't got any sponsors yet, but hey, try our stuff. So not an alarming amount of stuff, but it's a sign that we're growing together, which I'm excited and I want to share with you all. The other thing I wanted to ask you, chat family and replay family, if you're watching this, I want to do something for those when the membership gets here. I want to do something as a channel that a member will, it's something that I print that a member will get. If you all, feel free, if you don't want to like drop it in the chat or anything, our email is in the description. If you have ideas, let me know, because if I can print something that I can send to you as a member or something of that nature, that would mean more to you as a member. I know a lot of other channels do giveaways for members, filament giveaways and raffles and stuff like that. But if there's something that puts the humanity back in 3D printing for you all, if you were to become a member, we don't have that unlocked, so that's not a thing yet. But if you were to become a member, what would be important to you? What would be say, hey, Ken and the Glorious Geeks and the Cats and Abby, they really care. So that is important to me, to connect on a human basis on that. So keep that in your mind. As we grow as a channel, I want to do something like that. And I am aware that I still owe pretzels to some people. They are in this thing right here. They have not been misplaced. We got, and if you want a pretzel, we still have a few 3D printed pretzels. Drop me your address in their email. Some of them still have the brims on them. I don't know if I want to go back and reprint them or not, but we have pretzels here. I actually almost ate one the other day. They were sitting next to the bag of pretzels, and I went to grab it, and I was like, I probably shouldn't eat this. So, but they are here. I believe Andrew and David, I owe you guys one. The brims have been peeled off those. I promise I've gotten to those. It gets busy around here sometimes, but they are in the works in an envelope. So if you guys, anyone in the chat family currently, if you guys want that, let me know. Or in the replay family, I do have about 25 of those, not including the ones that I've already dedicated. So those are available. If you would like one, let me know, and I will get it out to you. And it'll be in a standard envelope, just as a thank you for watching. And then we'll do another round of those, but probably bigger when we get to, I think I said 5,000 subscribers, which we're a quarter of the way there. So it's coming. So but it's been really fun and exciting to do this. I went back and watched one of these live streams that we did early days. You can definitely tell the cameras are getting better, the lighting's getting better. It's just been a joy to learn this stuff. Like when you become a content creator and you take that step, it's like stepping into the ocean for the first time. You don't know what's in there. You have an idea. You've been taught in elementary school, this is in the ocean, but you really don't know. Those of you that are in the chat and replay family, have you gotten your SnapMaker yet? If you've ordered it, how's it working with you? I've had a couple of issues with mine, nothing too crazy, but for some reason, all of a sudden, my SnapMaker, when I go to do the calibration for bed leveling, it wants to stop in the front right corner. Does anybody know why that's happening? I haven't found any like sources for information for that yet. Oh, and if you haven't seen the new design for the top cover for that Snapmaker, I'm so glad I didn't cancel mine when they offered the refund for cancellation, because what they're doing with it, it's got like a heater and ventilation system in it now. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's definitely worth the $150 that we put. Iceman74, I love my Snapmaker, just hate the app. Yeah, I think specifically for me, I can't stand having to log in every time. James, debating about getting one. Wanted to wait and see more people use it for a while. Currently, so I don't know if you've seen some of our shorts, James, but let me show you some of the things that I printed on it that I would have never printed on a bamboo machine that I have currently. If I ever get an H2C, that would be lovely to print on. I can print super big things, but these are some of the things that I printed on the Snapmaker. This giant unicorn, this giant giraffe. I'm gonna have to like create a shelf for all these things in the studio. Well, I can't say that. They're actually my son's toys, so they're big enough so I don't have to worry about him choking on them. There was one other. Oh, the giant duck. The giant duck. David, one thing to warn, if you have any Creality Hyper PLA with RFID, they did not fit. They snapped one of the fins off the spool holder. Thankfully, they snapped back on. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I think the only Creality filament I have is some PET G right now. And knock on wood, I'm testing some PET G right now again. I finally got up the courage to do it after that first fail with the dragon. And right now, I wish I had like a camera over top of it. Maybe I can do that. Oh, so if you haven't seen Cinderwing's stuff, she's got these hatchlings. This one's a tiny duck. It's not the hatchling, but she has these hatchlings that she put out, and I kind of find it kind of comical to take the little tiny hatchlings and blow it up as big as I can. Currently, I'm printing a hatchling octopus that's like this big. Out of PET G, and it's a Strong Hero 3D ocean filament, ironically, and it's purple and blue and like a little bit of seaweed green in it. And you'll probably see a short on this in the next 2 days if it doesn't fail. For some reason, the last time I printed in PET G, right towards the top of its build limit, it just decided to, nope, I'm not printing anymore. So I shrunk it down just a little bit. Oh, chat family, if you do have a Snapmaker, how, and we're getting into like the frequently asked questions and nitty gritty of the live stream. How many of you use standard Orca slicer versus Snorka, Snapmaker's Orca? I use standard Orca slicer, and I've noticed that if I fill it up all the way to the edge of the build plate, I mean to the edge, where if you blow it up any bigger, it'll say no, it doesn't fit. And then and it still fits, and you put it into the slicer and put it in the machine. For some reason, my machine won't print. It won't print. It'll print for a little while, and then it'll say exceeds toolhead limit. Have you guys had that issue? I mean, maybe not because you haven't been printing giant animals, but it's actually, now that I'm looking at the screen, it's kind of comical to see them line up. Surprisingly, they're not like overly heavy. I would have thought that they would have been. I will say, I learned for the first time that the filament runout sensor works, or the filament runout system works. I was a little bit scared when it happened because I thought that it just like had an error, and the touchscreen when it comes up, it says go to click this link and go to it, and then it doesn't do anything, or you can click cancel. And I thought I was scared when I clicked cancel. I thought I was just gonna cancel the print, but it didn't. It just went to the main screen, and you could click the play button again. I was like, oh god. It was a little scary. Iceman, I used Orca, but I haven't tried any going really big yet. Yeah, I might be niche printing, I don't know. But I just noticed that, especially, I think it was the giraffe, and actually that was the second time I had to print it. It got to, I want to say, where the hoofs, because it prints flat like this, it got to where about halfway up the hoofs, and then it said it exceeded the build plate volume, which was weird. I'm just wondering if there's like a disconnect between Orca and the machine where it thinks the build plate's slightly bigger than what it is. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and maybe eventually I'll test it out again to the actual max. I think I do like 3% smaller than what it actually is. And then we are also, don't let me, I almost forgot because I'm currently editing it. I don't know how I forgot since I'm currently editing it and filming. We have the Chi2 plate cycler C1M from Chi2 Box. They sent us over with 8 plates. That thing I've printed off an entire fruit stand of fidgets. So once I'm done testing it, I'll have that content creation job for you guys. So I'm definitely printing and busy. Iceman, go to your printer setting in Orca Slicer, see what it says. Let's see. I'll do it with you all. Let me open up Orca Slicer. Sometimes it takes forever to open up. This is where I wish I had a second monitor in here so I can have you guys up, have the chat up while I'm doing this. Maybe that'll be my next studio upgrade. Okay, we're gonna go to prepare. We're gonna go to Snapdragon 1, and then I'm gonna screen share your printer settings in Orca Slicer and see what it says. All right, I'm gonna screen capture. Here you guys go. So try this out. When you say printer settings, do you mean this little button here? No, that's the printer selection. That's not what I wanted. And now it's going to make my computer take forever. That's the connection. This is the printer settings, I think. All right, so this is what it is. So set printable area. Oh, is that what you're talking about right there, Iceman? Where it says 271 by 272, because I do believe that's supposed to be 270 by 270. I don't know how that got changed. Let me go back to Bamboo. If that's what you mean, that is an excellent tip because I didn't realize that was even changed. All right, thank you for the help. See, this is where our community comes together. Let me get that adjusted actually, before I forget. Well, that'll help me create, or not create, but keep from. So 270, oh, not 2,710, 270 by 270. Wonder how that got changed. Yeah, I wonder how that got changed because I don't I never went in there and edited that. I wonder if I opened up a file and it just changed it by accident. It's possible. Now that I know it's a thing, I'll have to check it before I send something. But hope you guys are having a good time of print and pretzels. Stay tuned for next week as we are going to bring some more of those new printers and what really matters. And then in the fourth iteration, we're going to say these are what we would do without budget constraints. So I hope you enjoyed this iteration of Print and Pretzels tonight with the legislation. I hope it brings some peace of mind to you. And it also, there is the call to action that if it is happening in your area, please step forward to make a difference and call or email your representative and let them know. And until next week, as always, be glorious.